crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. With your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Somebody asked me yesterday, Bix, the 200-day moving average has been breached. Is this the end of manipulation? And cryptos are going higher. Is this the end of manipulation? No, not even close. Are you kidding? A few things have to happen for manipulation to end. The bad guys got to be taken out of the game. So the comics has to shut down completely and totally, which it will. And number two, the crypto world needs to, shut down the exchanges, which are fraud, but also needs to clean up their act. Digital Currency Group owns the majority of it. And that's a deep state operation in my book. So, yeah, until those things are fixed, no, we're going to be under the hammer of manipulation for quite a while until these exchanges shut down. And when will that happen? It could happen any day. It could happen any month. It could happen any year. I mean, for silver, we're talking 170 years of price suppression. So it's kind of a big deal. For cryptos, you're looking at, 11 years, 12 years of price suppression. I would say when the big exchanges came on, the first inkling of the fraud was Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox was not a hack. Don't let anybody tell you it was a hack. It was the fact that people were pulling their Bitcoin out because they had lost trust in Mt. Gox. And Mt. Gox, like every other crypto exchange, didn't have the coins that they were selling their customers. They were just making the commissions. And yeah, that guy, Karpalus, should be in jail forever. But so should everybody who's running that kind of fractional reserve system. The guys at the comics and all the advisors to the CFTC. These are people from the largest banks in the world. But let's talk about the breakout in silver first, and then we'll talk about the breakout in cryptos. Yes, we did have silver run past the 200-day moving average again. But more important, as you can see in this graph, it's above the 200-day moving average. Can it go back down below? Of course. More important is this is the shell game going on at the comics. Now, the price of silver, comics is the only exchange on the planet that you can redeem. Well, no, let me take that back. Comics is the place where the silver price is determined because you can take delivery. You can also take delivery on SLV. If you have 5,000 shares of SLV, you can take delivery. And I highly recommend everybody do that if you're that rich. Because SLV is a fraud as well. The metal is owned by all kinds of different banks. And no, it's not the shareholder that owns it. They play games. BlackRock is a fraud, is a criminal organization with a lot of silver riggers in the upper management. They run the show as far as silver rigging, along with JP Morgan, who's kind of been put out to the side, and then poor old little Bank of America sitting there floundering, which will be really interesting. But let me show you what's going on. Look at this. Yesterday, almost no silver traded. 2 trading days ago, we had one of the largest days ever, and all of a sudden, almost no silver trades. The CFTC, this is a glaring, obvious exhibition of silver manipulation, and yet the CFTC does nothing. But let's take a look. According to the open interest, March contract still has 7,400. Now, this is interesting because yesterday we had a change of 1,123 contracts, about 5 million ounces. So remember that, 1,000 contracts. But you look at the delivery data, and it shows delivery of, yesterday was 1,000, so it shows a delivery of an extra 3,000. So did 2,000 contracts get purchased and delivered yesterday? Which you can do on the comics. You can go in there any day, buy your silver, and walk out with it. Obviously, it takes time to do the paperwork, but that's the rules on the comics. And the most interesting thing to me about this number, this is like the second day of deliveries. Number one, it's still less than half of the total of 8,000 that was 8,500 that was outstanding. It's less than half. Normally, it would be 95% by now, but it's less than half And the open interest is still at 7,000, which is 35 million ounces, which is crazy. But the real key thing is not who stopped it and who issued the silver, but who are the players? Who are these criminals we keep talking about? And it can be shown in today's numbers. Whoever is the big players, those are the criminals. So, and the big players, it doesn't look that big. So obviously, as we've talked about a lot, I think they're the third highest silver derivative holder behind JP Morgan and Bank of America is Citibank. Citibank is a criminal bank. So that's one, Citibank. If you want to know who the big criminal banks are that we're talking about, I'll tell you right here. Citibank, number one. See, who else? Here we go. JP Morgan, of course. Ooh, this is for their house account. This is rare because JP Morgan's not supposed to be playing in silver markets according to their agreement with the DOJ. That's why all their customers are doing it for them. But we had JP Morgan delivering 554 contracts. Interesting. So number two, JP Morgan. We already knew that one. Look who's back in the game, delivering 1,346. That's the largest of the deliverers. Morgan Stanley, they're back. They were gone for a while. Boy, they must be hurting because they're pulling out all the stops. All the old guys are coming in back into the silver rigging game. Morgan Stanley had to deliver 6,500 down, or 6,500,000 ounces. So that's number three, Morgan Stanley. And obviously Bank of America. Interestingly enough, look at Bank of America's taking silver for the house account. You see back in December, they had to pony up 5 million ounces, or what's that, 25 million ounces. Now they're taking 6 million ounces. Interesting. The shell games continue. B of A. I mean, why are they doing this? What is the economic justification for Bank of America? Now, even if we didn't know about them leasing 800 million ounces, what is the economic justification of Bank of America dealing in so much physical silver for their own house account? This is a too big to fail bank. The Federal Reserve is supposed to be regulating these guys. And the CFTC. Neither of them are doing shit. They shouldn't be even in commodity markets, if you ask me. We give them the ability to print money out of thin air with leveraged lending, 10-1, and then we let them play in the commodity markets, and then we bail them out when they get in trouble. It's fucked up. Pardon my language, but every once in a while, it's shocking to me either how stupid people are or how criminal the United States of America is in our financial system. And it is how criminal we are. All right, let's see who the big ones are. I wouldn't call Wells Fargo a big one. HSBC is back. HSBC with a delivery of 258 ounces or contracts. Now, HSBC, I wouldn't include them in this because they were pretty much kicked out of the commodity markets, but it looks like they're coming back. They had to come back and bring back all the old standbys to play in the silver game because it's so out of control right now. So HSBC, that's 5 banks. And there's the poobah, one of the poobahs, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, Jeff Curry came out and said, "Oh no, we're now they're taking 5. That would be 2.5 million ounces of silver, and their customers are delivering 1.5 million of that. Again, the shell game. So yeah, I mean, it's the same old players. You want to know who's rigging silver? All you have to do is look at this. Now, here's the names. These are the top 6. There's 8 big ones, really. But the top 4 are, I would say... Now, most of them... Now, remember, this is a tiny delivery month. It should be a monster of over 445 million ounces. And somewhere along the line, the numbers got skewed. There's still 7,000... contracts and open interest in March. That's 7.4 is, what is that? It's about 37 million ounces waiting to be delivered. Now, it might be timing. I don't know. Truthfully, it wasn't like this before. So something is definitely askew in silver. But here's your criminals. Here's the top 6 delivers: Citibank, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, HSBC, and Goldman. I'd say the top 4 are Citi, JP Morgan, B of A, and Goldman. Citibank, JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Goldman Sachs, all of them, they are declared too big to fail companies. And yet all of them are massive players in one of the smallest markets in the world, the silver market. Yet the most volatile. There's no reason the silver price should be volatile at all. It's a tiny market, and supply and demand don't differ all that much. Unless you're playing in the derivative market, then it's massive. Over 100 billion ounces of silver are traded on the COMEX every year. 100 billion. That's with a B. You know how much silver has been mined in the history of history? Just over 60 billion ounces. And yet they're allowed to trade 100 billion ounces of silver derivatives every year because that's what we live in. We live in a criminal financial system run by derivatives and criminals and market riggers. I saw Jamie Dimon talking about the SWIFT system. Well, Russia doesn't really need the SWIFT system. There's ways to get around that. This is Jamie Dimon, the head of the largest bank in the world, saying, hey, screw you, America. Try to put sanctions on Russia. We'll facilitate them going around the SWIFT system. That's Jamie Dimon, Mr. I want to run for president of the United States. Why isn't that guy in jail? For multitude. I mean, you could take any infraction. I think the most obvious one is he was the only banker for Bernie Madoff. The only one. He had to sign off on every one of Bernie Madoff's transactions. Not to mention all the others. My God. The laundry list of crimes that JP Morgan has created while Jamie Dimon has been the head. I think the total, there's a count. These are of the official fines, just the fine, not the amount they played with, but just the fines of the times they got caught. It's right around $40 billion in fines in the last 20 years, in fines. Now, Jamie Dimon hasn't been there the entire time, but most of it. That's just fines. The amount in crimes is unbelievable, off the charts. Welcome to America. And you wonder why Cliff High says, hey, you won't want to live in a $600 silver world. It means everything has broken down. But you do want to live in the world after $600 silver, where free markets take place. And we find out the real, true fair market value of silver. And these criminals are put in jail. That's the world after $600 silver. Who knows what silver will go to then? Probably $1, because it is the definition of a dollar is actually just under an ounce of silver, according to the Constitution. Yes, I think we're going to go back to constitutional money because everything's going to just lock up and freeze because of this derivative situation. 2 quadrillion in derivatives. When they go sideways, everything's just going to stop. This is all derivative trades. You look at this, the delivery notices even are derivatives. Everything traded on the LBMA is a derivative. These are all derivatives. They don't turn real until physical delivery is not only issued, but taken delivery of, and you get that physical silver in your own possession. Then it's real to you. Everything else is smoke and mirrors and derivatives. When that locks up, obviously the COMEX is it's a futures and options exchange. That's all they do is derivatives. But the U.S. stock market will lock up. Those are derivatives. You ever wonder why the entire float, all the shares of Apple trade hands in like 10, 12 days? You ever wonder about that? Because you didn't sell yours. Most people don't sell those. They keep them in their 401k, unfortunately. Those will all go away. They're all just derivatives being traded back and forth by these criminal banksters. So that's where we are, my friends. Silver will run and run and run, but it's still manipulated. Until we have a shutdown of the COMEX and the invention of a brand new way to trade silver to determine its fair market value, where you actually have physical silver and you go in there and buy it with whatever we're using as money at the time, maybe cryptos, then we'll know the fair market value. Right now, it's all bullshit. When they trade 100 billion ounces of silver derivatives every year, there's no justification for any kind of price for silver. You can't even determine the price. So now is the time to get your physical silver in your own possession. I think Andy Scheckman still has some. If you want some silver, go to your local coin shop first. Establish those relationships. Buy some silver from your local guy, because that's who you're going to be selling it to. If you don't have a local guy, contact Andy. Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. He'll hook you up. And on a really bright note, remember, silver and cryptos and gold are standalone assets. That's the beauty of them. They don't require anybody. If you hold them in your own possession, they don't require any third party. And all the people who are saying, cryptos are ridiculous, like David Morgan's guy. The crypto conspiracy. You got every single country in the world trying to figure out what to do as the United States and the Westerners block them out of the system. Of course they're going to bid up cryptos. Of course they're going to get as much as they can because they're standalone assets, just like silver. It's a standalone asset. LBMA just kicked out some of the Russian traders, but not all. The LBMA knows they are absolutely screwed if the Russian traders say, let's just buy silver and destroy the Western financial system. So the LBMA kicked them out. But they didn't kick out the Russian refiners, no, because they want to get that gold out of Russia. And then Reuters, it was great. I was reading in here. Reuters said Russia has all this new, or was it the FT? Hold on. It was so funny because they're saying, hey, Russia, you have all this gold, 2,299 tons of gold. You can shore up your financial system by selling the gold. Ha! Are you kidding me? You know what the Russian central bank said and announced? They're going to continue their gold purchases. The exact opposite of what the mainstream media wants them to do. And the U.S. idiots in at the Treasury, they probably told Reuters to put that. Or Financial Times, here it is. Financial Times speculates that due to Western sanctions, the Russian central bank might sell gold. It's just crazy. The Bank of Russia appears not to have read the Financial Times since, according to Reuters, Russia has come out on the 27th of February and will do the opposite of what the FT suggested. Quote, Russian central bank on Sunday said it would resume buying gold on the domestic market. Wait till they say, we're going to resume buying silver, you assholes, and we're going to destroy you because of what you're doing. Now, I'm not taking sides in this war. It's 100% caused by the West trying to turn Ukraine into a Western ally, if you ask me. I mean, this could have been solved 10 years ago, but the people, the criminals in the U.S. government made this happen. Yeah, I don't believe in what Putin's doing. Not at all. I don't believe in anybody dying over these. But it's all bankster bullshit. It's all the spreading of democracy. We went to war in Korea, supposedly to stop the spread of communism. But we want to spread democracy to whatever land that will take us. Read John Perkins' book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, if you believe that the U.S. is all innocent in this game. Because we are not. We're probably the worst. We pretend we have the moral high ground, but we're actually in the midst of destroying everybody and everything to get our way. Sad and pathetic. The people in government. Well, this is the falling down of that. You better have cryptos in your possession. You better have gold and silver in your possession because nobody's going to trust anybody else. Cryptos are trustless. You don't need to trust anybody. Some of them will do well. Some will get destroyed. Absolutely. Pick the right ones. I highly suggest Theta. As a matter of fact, Theta's moving today, finally. Bitcoin caught a bid up to 43,000. It'll go. The problem is not cryptos. Cryptos are a solution to the problem. The problem is fiat money and government. And you put those two together, and it's very deadly and dangerous. And the criminals behind it. That's the problem. Cryptos are a solution. Yes, there are deep state people within the criminals. Absolutely. Digital Currency Group. They should be taken out. They own half the cryptos out there. But can they be taken out? I don't know. It's not just them. It's the crypto cabal. It's the guys down in Puerto Rico. But there's 50 times more criminals in the normal fiat system. They just do it legit. JP Morgan, one of the most criminal institutions on the planet. Time and time again, it's proven that the only way they make money is through crimes. You want to stop money launderer? Shut down JP Morgan before you try to shut down Bitcoin. You can't. You can't confiscate, by the way, all these idiots out there. Oh, Trudeau said he's going to confiscate all crypto wallets. Good luck with that. You can't confiscate any crypto wallets if they're holding your own possession. Yeah, you go to Coinbase and say, okay, you have to stop. But anybody who keeps their coins in an exchange is an idiot. Get your own. It has to be in your own possession only. How long have I preached that on the road to Ruta? And now you're seeing why. Wait till they say, oh, silver and gold are going up because of the war. You're not allowed to own it. How about that? Who's going to say that? Who has the moral authority to say that? You're not allowed to own gold and silver. You think anybody in their right mind would turn in their gold and silver? No. Never. These are the criminals that run our lives. The way out of their system is gold and silver. That's why they hate gold, silver, and cryptos. That's why Congress is waffling on everything. Because they know that they offer an opportunity for you and me to get out of their system. Sit in our lawn chairs on the sidelines, what we're doing right now, and saying, you guys fight it out. I know what's going to happen in the end. Unbacked fiat money will fail. It always has. The only reason it hasn't this time is the U.S. military, and we go to war with anybody who wants to trade oil in anything other than dollars. Although that system's done. Now it's computer run. The petrodollar was gone when the invention of computer derivative trading began. So 90s or so. Petrodollar didn't mean anything. Now it's just completely computer-driven fake trading. But that's where we are. There's a computer trading floor in the basement of the Treasury. Most people doesn't even know there's a basement to the Treasury. Anyway, just a hint at all the chaos. Just go to Zero Hedge and look at every article. It's like every single article is screaming, buy gold, buy silver. If you have gold, swap it for silver as fast as you can. 80 to 1 or 78 to 1 or whatever the ratio is, it's going to be 1 to 1. As good as gold going to do, and I think it's going to do pretty well, silver is going to blow the socks off gold gains. 1 to 1 ratio. The same as above ground. There's 6 billion ounces of gold and 6 billion ounces of silver now theoretically, if you melt down everything. I'm not kidding. The only thing fake about the price of gold, the gold-silver ratio, is the price. And the price is determined on the COMEX, and they don't even trade gold and silver. It's a derivative. Get your hands on as much physical silver as possible, and you should already have cryptos, the good cryptos, sitting in your possession. You're real happy today. Let's see what Theta Girl's doing. Theta Girl. $3.24 up. Oh, it was up a lot more last night, but hey, I'm holding on to $1,000 to $1,000 to $5,000. When it gets in that range, I might go out and buy a cup of coffee with my Theta. Till then, I'm a hodler. Might happen overnight, might happen tomorrow. According to the Hitomi reading, it happens when Tom Brady stands up and says, I'm Tom Brady, I'm with Autograph. We have officially signed on with Theta to be our NFT provider because they have KYC and are accepted by the government. So we don't want to get in trouble, so we're going to move all our NFTs to the Theta network and buy Theta Fuel, buy Theta Drop. When that happens, and then at the same time, Theta is added to all the American exchanges, look out above. It'll go from $3 to $300 in a blink of an eye. I think it should be there already. Or wait till, Theta announces a partnership with Netflix. Netflix wants to save on its CDN costs. They can save tens of millions of dollars just by using the Theta network. Wait till Samsung downloads Theta EdgeNote on every single smart TV out there. And Sony does the same thing. And Apple does the same thing on all their computers. That's the future for Theta. There should be no doubt. This is the no-brainer of a century. And then all of a sudden, we run out of money because these criminal government people and banks destroyed the system. How are we going to reallocate money? Why not through the Theta network? How about a T-money? We have Theta, we got Theta Fuel, we got Theta Drop, and how about T-money? Universal basic income for everybody that can all be downloaded on your phone. And you can mine it through your smart devices. It's all going to happen. It's just when. And those of you who got in Theta Network early, like yesterday early, congratulations. Tell your friends and family, hey, this is not stopping. Theta is going to control, I would say, either number 1 or number 2 spot on CoinMarketCap. And right now it's number, what number is it? 30, 40, 41. It's going to be number, I would say number 1 at some point. It'll be, the fight will be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Theta. That's my take. Don't believe me. It doesn't matter. Those who have done what I've been spouting off for the past 5 years obviously have done very well. And don't forget, as you get rich off Theta or rich off silver, balance your portfolio. Keep balancing. All right. That's it. That's all I got for you right now. Great time for silver, but it's still rigged. Great time for cryptos, but they're still rigged. Humanity is going to get through this. The good guys are winning. There are good guys out there. I'm going to post something later today for the private members about the good guys and the battle behind the scenes. I also have a live discussion with Jean-Claude at, I think it is 1 o'clock Pacific time. Let me make sure of that. Go to YouTube Beyond Mystic 2. Let's go find out right now. YouTube. Beyond Mystic 2. Dun, 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 dun. BEYO. Mystic 2. There we are. I'm on with Julie. Haven't met Julie yet, but she's really good at the astrology and woo-woo world. It's going to be fun. Scheduled for 3 p.m. Good thing I looked at this. 3 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to talk about why it's different this time. Should be good. Go check that out on Jean-Claude's channel. In the top chat, Bix got it right, except for timing. Story of everybody's life. That's why I always qualify it. I love giving predictions because everybody wants to know when, but I always say nobody knows. I thought this would the silver would break out in 1999. Nobody knows when this shit's going to happen, but we are so much closer. There's so many more signs that things are happening behind the scenes now. Let's pull out the new Silver Eagle and question what is that blank spot on the bottom of the Silver Eagle. I don't know. Anyway, go to roadtoroot.com, sign up for our private road sessions, and you'll get all the good stuff. This is Bix. I'll talk to you.